Coming up today on Locked On Texas Tech, the Red Raiders go Baconator mode, putting the pigs out to pasture and advancing to the Elite Eight for the third time since 2018. We're into it all next on Locked On Texas Tech.
You are Locked On Texas Tech, your daily podcast on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Great to be with you again on Locked On Texas Tech on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, always free and available on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts. And today's episode brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Head to 5hourenergy.com to find over 15 flavors to choose from. Need one now? Grab a 5 Hour Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. Stock up today and stay energized. Probably a popular drink this morning all across West Texas. And
yeah, if you got any on hand, send it to the West Coast. I need some. Instead, I'm stuck with this terrible drink, Gatorade. We'll get to that in the next episode because it goes down smooth.
That's right. We hope they do too.
Kinda, yeah. That's right.
Chris, I don't know what to do with my hands. I hadn't known what to do with myself since last night. I don't know what to say. I'd like to just maybe you want to just look at each other and think about how much fun that was, or should we discuss it? Because it was like nothing. I mean, literally nothing I've ever seen before. I just don't remember a game like that where you're able to rally on that stage in those moments, and then somehow you wind up getting a win.
Yeah, these are just memorable moments and memories that people will hold on to for a long, long time. And it's not just the Texas Tech fan out there. This was a March Madness moment. This was historic in that second largest comeback in Sweet 16, the round of that in history. It was the first overtime game in this particular tournament. And I sincerely mean it when I say I wish you and every Red Raider could have been in the building and back at the hotel and just experience and witness like the elation. And you just don't know if you'll get it again. You've got a extremely difficult challenge up next, but you were dead to rights, man. I mean, you were dead to rights. I mean, it's 10 minutes to go, 10 minutes plus. You're down 16. I think you're down 9 or 10 with like 4 to go. I had to go back and when I got back to the hotel, I had to get out of the lobby because it was chaos. And I was like, man, I know. I said something to Grant as I'm getting off the bus. I'm like, this is wild. And he's like, hey, this is what you do this for. But I mean, like you're trying to turn your team. It's like, dude, get food in you, get to bed, and like don't go celebrate. But you can't really do that. But it was just a bit of a chaotic scene back here at the hotel. But you'd earned it, and you were dead to rights, and you weren't. And the best way I could describe it was John Calipari looked like he'd seen a ghost, and it just so happened that ghost was named Darion Williams. And it went from like we've seen the picture like hey, we're up 16, I'm a Hall of Famer, everything's great, and then it's like what happened, my lunch money went where, who took it? And you're moving on.
Unbelievable. I mean, all that we talked about prior to the game was sort of there to see on display for, I don't know, 75% of the game. They were bigger than you, every spot on the floor. The length was a real problem. I credit Williams and Toppin for battling down low, but it was a long road to hoe. Essentially, the combination at halftime I was texting the Matador mob about was, hey, we're small and we can't shoot. Is that a good combination to win a game? And then you didn't grow any, but you did knock some shots down eventually. And that's actually what I said in my text. One of these things can change in the second half, and we hope that it will. And it still wasn't all that pretty of a night from a shooting standpoint, Chris, but who cares? You made big shots in big moments, man. And that's kind of been, I guess, Darion's MO. He's always had this sort of, if he doesn't have the best game overall, there's still a moment where if you need a game-winning play or a shot, you want the ball in his hands. He's just, I think you even said it I heard on the radio broadcast, just the clutch gene or clutch factor, whatever you call it. He's got it, man.
Yeah, and there was many shots last night that he normally makes that he missed. He's also one of those guys that be careful about saying something to him, because that seemingly is what drives him. And Arkansas was having some fun at his expense with, I don't know, there was a baseline dunk. It was about, I don't know, 9 to 11 minutes left to go. It all is a blur. Like I said, I had to come back to the hotel and kind of rewatch the ending just to kind of take it in from that standpoint and remember. But they got him going, and he just, because you think about the shot at Houston.
Yeah.
There's just so many like shots that you want the ball in his hands at that moment. And I mean, the shot at Kansas and Allen Fieldhouse, he hits a big shot down the stretch to kind of help you win that game. There's so I don't care that he shot it. Let's see here, 26 times. Yeah, it was a volume kind of night for him, but when you needed to win the game or needed to tie it, in both cases, he had the ball in his hands and he delivered for you. Because it wasn't Elijah Hawkins' best night. It just wasn't. Kerwin Walton was a non-factor. You couldn't even play him in the second half because he couldn't keep any Razorback in front of him. Christian Anderson, we'll get to him in a bit, but it's like D5. There was no plan B. And JT did his part in overtime, but they were just sitting on that right shoulder, not letting him get to his left hand and making it very difficult. But Darion Williams, I mean, he was just he's a variables guy in that. I mean, you're able to overcome a bit because he sprinkles in some magic on occasion, and that was the shot to tie the game. It falls in the basket so oddly from three. It's like kind of rattles it around a bit and like didn't go in clean. Like, of course everything's going to be difficult tonight, but I didn't care because the net saw it go through. And but like the back down stuff, that's just elite. That's elite stuff. The young man is making himself some money right now. I can tell you that. I mean, these are next level type plays, and it's just special because I think he's got a clutch component that he seems to step up the biggest when it's needed.
Yeah, no doubt. Just in big moments, he's still your guy, regardless of what the the game has looked like prior to that point. And JT Toppin, again, I said it going into the game, I've admired some ways in which he's battled this year against guys that are longer or bigger than him and hadn't really backed down from that. And I don't think he did it last night either. He winds up with 20 and 9. But Christian Anderson as a leading scorer, I know you had on your bingo card, right? 22.
Well,
for the freshman.
We were waiting on this. We
Yes, we
said
were.
it. If you want to bet against him, go for it. Good luck. And but at some point, Cowan, there's no chance McMillan. Kerwin Walton, you can't put him in because he was a bit of a liability on defense. And so, like, guys like Christian Anderson, Elijah was struggling, as we've talked about. So at some point, Christian Anderson and Kevin Overton, too, don't want to gloss over him. There is no plan B.
First, today's episode brought to you by Nissan, and we're all about the stats because numbers don't lie. And when it comes to the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X, the numbers are on an MVP level. With the ability to tow up to 8,500 pounds, it can literally carry the whole team plus all the gear wherever you need to go. It's powered by a twin-turbo V6 engine, delivering the strength and performance to handle highways, back roads, and everything in between. And with room for up to 8 people, the Armada Pro 4X is built for big crews, big adventures, and bigger memories. Whether you're exploring off-road trails or rolling up to the arena, the Armada Pro 4X brings power, versatility, and style wherever you go. So take your adventures to new heights in the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Learn more today at nissanusa.com. FanDuel.com. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. And when the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get in on it than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss the opening tip or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. And FanDuel's live betting feature electrifies every moment. Whether backing your team for a late-game rally or picking a player to hit a clutch shot, you're never going to miss your chance to get in on the action. Plus, the app, easy to use. And when you win, you get paid instantly. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet hits. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. And make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
There is no plan B. Like we have no other alternative here. If you get a look, you've got to take it. You've got to be aggressive. We need you to put the ball in the basket. Like that's our only option here. And they delivered. I think Kevin Overton semi kept you within striking distance for much of the first half.
Yep.
And then as you started to make your comeback, Christian Anderson kind of broke the seal from behind the arc. And then he starts to feel it. And then one goes in. And next thing you know, he's over 20 plus and just hooping. And I got to hug his dad's neck back at the hotel. And I'm telling you, you want to see what sports are all about. If you just watch some of those emotions from some of these parents or some of these kids, it's just there's just nothing like it. They've taken everybody on an unbelievable ride here, and I got to tell you, I would ride this ride again.
Yes, I would.
I mean, but he just wasn't going to continue to shoot it poorly or be a non-factor. And I mean, for all the credit that D5 will get, and we'll talk about some of these other guys, but Christian Anderson was a massive, massive part of this victory, and deservedly so, because he's the guy that they were basically saying you can't let him get a catch, you can't let him get a three, you can't. But Linder and old Grant, boy, those crazy like a fox guys over there drawing some stuff up to get him clean looks, and man, he delivered for you.
Was that about to be his shot that winds up going to Williams? He was a little crowded by the defender, so he shovels it off, but he had the green light to take that shot, I guess, in that moment, right?
Yeah, it's a pick and roll. You're trying to see if you're getting a switch or not, and then just again, that's the subtle nuances of this stuff when you've got time and space. Because again, do I look this way and take one step wrong, and then that's enough to get a shot off and all that? But they just played it. I think he was looking to take the shot, but then he makes the right play, and then D5 takes a. I mean, go watch that. He's got, it's not a clean look. He's got, it's
No.
somewhat contested, and yet he just rattled it in. I mean, it's just, and then yeah. I mean, just absolutely. God, you could just inject that evening and that last 4 to 5 minutes and that overtime right into my veins for all the times, man. I mean, for all the
No
times.
doubt.
Yeah.
Well, I was
I
going to
mean,
say, going back to Kevin Overton, I thought maybe his best game of the year, particularly given the context, and I think you're on the money saying that he was kind of your lifeline early on in the game when there wasn't a lot going on, but for whatever reason, Overton was making some plays. And how about for the second consecutive game, even facing the length that you did, 50 paint points? Wasn't that? I think that was the exact number you had against Drake as well. And you wind up with Williams and Toppin both scoring 20, each have 9 rebounds. It was very difficult. Nothing came easy, but you did actually win the battle in the paint. You outscored them 50-30 in that regard. Rebounding 51-39 in your favor. We talked about the turnover column, Texas Tech in single digits with only 8. I mean, there was the blueprint we talked about, Chris, and I think my faith might have been waning that our blueprint was going to work because you were doing those things, but you're down by 16. Arkansas's got their best 20 minutes of shooting of the season. It was insane. I don't know why this constantly happens to Tech. The other team goes prolific mode, three-point shooting wise, when they face the Red Raiders. But I guess it's kind of the thing at halftime where you're saying, I don't know if they can do that all night. And again, in texting with the Matador Mob at halftime, there was just a lot of talk about, hey, feeling pretty lucky to only be down by 7 at this point. I actually kind of think it should be worse given what Arkansas has been doing offensively. But you did the things that you talked about needing to do to win. It took a little while to pay off, but you battled in the paint, you battled on the glass, you didn't turn the basketball over, and eventually those things paid off.
It took 45 minutes.
Yes, it did.
45 exhausting minutes. So I think you'd made a semi-conscious decision to try to not let their size inside beat you, or try to like pack in your help a bit, and gave them some clean looks from three in the first half. They knocked them down. It didn't go well for you. You adjusted in the second half and got that stopped. I think that they did a good job of defending JT and making it very difficult for him. There's some shots that he and Darion usually make, but you just feel that length and size and wonder, is a shot blocker coming? How close is he? I'm just a slightly sped up, or I just take the wrong angle or whatever, and so that leads to some misses on the inside. But yeah, 50 paint points. And it was Overton that kind of broke the seal on the 3-point line early in the game. You're just heaving them up, and it looks like you don't have any legs under you. Everything's short, and then Overton calmly steps up. He knocked down a couple, and then you're like, okay, here we go. And I was really proud of Kevin, because one, it's back to that no plan B. You needed him defensively because of his length at a guard spot, but he was providing some scoring for you, which you had to have. Um, Arkansas was just very difficult to keep in front of you, and this is why Calipari is such a good coach, because what people will tell you, it's not that he's this great X's and O's guy. It's that he's able to recruit really good players, which he's always done, and then he manages egos and manages their roles, and like he's a talent manager. But what they do is they isolate guys and they break you down off the dribble, and it's a one-on-one game in the middle of the floor or off to the side of the floor. And like, if you've got a weak guy out there, you're exposed. And that's what happened to Kerwin Walton. But you had a hard time, everybody did, of keeping them in front of you. And then they get to the foul line. Let's see, what were they? Yeah, they shot 22 free throws and you only shot 11. And that, again, they made more threes and more free throws than you did. And so but it was just your work in the paint and some of those other things. But you adjusted, and you just had some kids that just had straight up guts, man. Just no quit. And I feel like we've probably gone way too long. Credit to your head coach, because he said this after the game. And in fact, he said it to the TV reporter. Like, we just had this belief that we were going to win it. And I'm sure many people are at home rolling their eyes going, yeah, sure you did. Every single timeout, he's telling the players, like when they're coming off, we are winning this game. I'm watching him. I'm reading lips. I'm watching it. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, well, good. But he just it's like he just forces them to believe. And like his reaction when Arkansas missed that last shot, it's about the best 5 seconds you'll ever see from somebody. He deserves a tremendous amount of credit, does Grant McCasland, for punching the ticket to the Elite Eight for the third time in school history. So good for him.
Yeah, third time since 2018, back
Hmm.
again, I think. Yeah, what can we say that hadn't already been said about Grant McCasland? Incredible, and glad to see him have this type of success. It's year 2 in Lubbock. I mean, it's crazy to think where you were last year and where you are already again this time around. Yeah, and you were talking about some of those Red Raider fans that were enjoying it, as far as coaches, players, whatever it might be. Seeing his son and his wife, man, in one of those videos, just okay, I can't get the lip to quivering here this morning. I did enough of that last night, but that's good stuff to say
But
the least.
but and Calipari's wife and daughter were a huge storyline, and I get it, and they've dealt with a lot and all the things. And but there's other families that are involved in this stuff too, that are riding the emotional wave and all the things. And so I'm glad that, because I gave a hug to CC, Grant's wife, when we got back to the hotel, and she's a Red Raider. I mean, this is this is meaningful for her for all kinds of reasons. I mean, she went to school here. She listens to this show. We've
Let's
talked
go,
about this
CC.
show. Yes, she listens to this show and all that. And so he's got a great family, and I'm without being corny, I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. He deserves this. He's and Coach Linder, and on it goes with the whole group. And it's a fun ride that I'm not ready for it to end. And gosh dang it, man, you're 40 minutes away from what would be a burn it down type party in San Antonio, Texas, that the Red Raiders would just absolutely take over if you can get it done. But it's going to take beating somebody similar to the likes of University of Houston to get that far.
We will set the table for the next round as we get to, the Florida Gators and what looks like a whale of a challenge. Really the most I've seen. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, but this is one of those, before we kind of move on, Calvin, like if you put this game into historical perspective, this is one of those, I don't know, man. Like I would put, I don't want to get into, recency bias and all the things, but this is like one of those games that I think we're talking about, 20, 30 years from now. Remember the time, because this was so unlikely. What was the win probability was like over 98% in favor of Arkansas.
Right. Not 100. That's not 100.
No, but I was saying this on the broadcast. I don't think you trailed by 16 points in the second half of any game this year until last night. And yet, I mean, you decided to roll into the Chase Center, and like what's crazy is 4 years ago.
First, today's episode brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Fixes tired fast. Whether you've got a long list of tasks at work or a bundle of DIY projects to tackle at home, take a 5 Hour Energy shot so you can cover everything with energy to spare. If you're like me, you've always got a lengthy list of things to get done around the house. So when you get your supplies for any project, don't forget the most essential one, a 5 Hour Energy shot. 5 Hour Energy shots give you the feeling of alertness and energy you need to get in the zone. And that's why 5 Hour Energy is the brand hardworking people like you have trusted for over 20 years to give them the alert, energized feeling they need to get through a busy and hectic day. And you always know where to find 5 Hour Energy shots, right at the cash register at nearly every convenience, drug, and grocery store nationwide. Even better, stock up on money-saving multi-packs to make sure you never run out of delicious, energizing 5 Hour Energy shots. And right now, if you go to 5hourenergy.com, that's the number 5hourenergy.com, and get some 5 Hour Energy today, you can use our promo code LOCKEDONCFB. That's LOCKEDONCFB to receive 20% off your order. This offer only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions and does not apply to subscription orders. Boost your day, boost your life, and get in the Get It Done zone by going to 5hourenergy.com today.
And like what's crazy is 4 years ago, that game went to overtime too, and you dropped one to Duke, but not on this night, not so fast, Piggy. And it was fun to beat those people. I'm telling you, I had to sit there and wallow in it in Memphis, Tennessee. And so for all the crap that everybody wants to talk about, from Fayetteville, man, you could turn it sideways and stick it straight up your Arkansas ass. That's what I'm telling you right there, because I'm so sick of those arrogant sons of guns, and they look like they'd all open up an empty box for Christmas when they're walking out of there. And I turned around and I was enjoying every bit of it because all the smack that was getting talked right behind me. You can inject that into my veins too, as well as advancing. But it was equally as sweet to see them go bye-bye, season over, no more Cinderella for Cal. Good team, all that stuff. But yeah, I've seen enough of the Hogs, or the Piggies, as my man Callan calls them, to last me a while.
Yeah. Good luck, Arkansas, and all your future endeavors. It's fun to beat a fan base that cares so much and is so out of their minds. And obviously they represent that. So I'm glad we were able to avenge a little bit of a football debt. So that was on my mind as well. I didn't want to take another one to these guys. I mean, Arkansas as an athletics program is just a shell of what it used to be. Obviously, Southwest Conference days and back in the day when they were among the who's who, they still got a large fan base, but the trophy case is collecting some dust, certainly for Arkansas football, basketball, whatever it might be compared to once upon a time. But maybe you'll get back around next time. I do regret, it's sad that the broadcasters now, I guess, will have to learn the names of these Red Raiders, of Grant McCasland. We'll have to figure out who their coach is, maybe where the wife is sitting for a camera shot, etc. It's just, look, I love Kevin Harlan. He's amazing. I love listening to him call a game. But the crew that was on this one last night, you can go ahead and stick something sideways up, you know where too, for those guys, because the suck fest for John Calipari, nauseating. And I thought it was insane, some of the comments they were actually making about Texas Tech. It's clear they never heard of us, never seen us. We're hoping we'd go home very, very soon. Unfortunately for them, we're going to be back for another round. I doubt they'll know who we are for this next one. It's going to be a Florida suckfest once again. But maybe by the time we get to, a national title game, they'll know who we are. Maybe. But apologies, guys. We're hanging around a little bit longer. We'll have to come up with a few more bullet points to mention sparingly when you've run out of things to say about Florida, I guess. You didn't have to hear this level, but I got a little beef with the TV broadcast.
Yeah, we were doing our thing on radio, and like when I did get back to the hotel, I just wanted to. I was, when you're in those moments, it's like a blur. Like everything's happening, and you're trying to remember the order of things. And okay, oh, I forgot about that shot that he made, or I forgot this moment, or how much time was left. So when I got back to the hotel, I did. I got out of the craziness of the hotel lobby. I'm like, I'm not getting nothing done down there. There's not any beer left to be had in this hotel lobby. So I got the elevator and got up to my room, and I had a pounding headache, and it was just sensation overload. But I rewatched the last 8 minutes of regulation and the overtime just because I wanted to experience it from that standpoint. And um, yeah, just getting to see it from that standpoint, it was like I was reliving the emotion all over again, and I knew that I was gonna like the way it ended. But yeah, I just think historically though, like in wins that we talk about, or like what are your top 5 favorite moments or wins, or in the sports that we really deal with in football and hoops, that one's gonna be up there just because of, and it was how. It's not that you won, it's how you won, and the stage, and how meaningful it was, because you're now you're I mean, this team, they're putting up an Elite Eight banner up in the rafters at least now, and if you somehow 40 more minutes, it just will keep this party going. But it's just really hard to get to this point, and you're dealing with really good coaches and really good teams and all that. But I just it's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. I cannot believe you won that game. I just in shock. But I mean, of course you won it. I mean, absolutely, of course, you won it, and you were going to keep swinging and fighting and punching and all the stuff, and that's what, as it played out. That's what was so frustrating, is like you could never lean on Arkansas enough to maybe make them feel it a bit. But once you got it to that point, they did feel it, and we saw the result. But they had controlled and been comfortable the entire game. They were having fun at your expense. Everybody's dunking, hitting threes. We're doing the woo, whatever all that silliness is, and you're just kind of trying to hang, and then all of a sudden you start to put this 10-0 run together, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, and now this is where the criticism from Calipari comes in. This is where the criticism, well, they weren't in many of these games this year, and they just kind of folded and didn't. The Knox kid hitting the three when it put them up 6, I thought, uh-oh.
Yeah,
This is all going to be for naught. But next thing you know, it's a C4 bang bang, and it's a D5 bang bang, and we're tied, and we're playing 5 more minutes. And I got to see that piggy cry all the way home. Is that right? Is that how it goes?
I think so.
Wee!
Yeah.
Wee! Is that
Like
the commercial?
your like your broadcast partner Jeff Haxton said, by the grace of the Almighty.
Yeah,
We got to see all this
he
come to
was like,
fruition.
"Is the Lord?" He's like, "Yeah, preacher Haxton." That's right.
So good. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Brother Jeff turned into a little divine inspiration. Well, there are no more hogs to call, so the woo pig suey, I guess, will just have to be used to let your wife know it's dinner time or something like that. over in Fayetteville. But what a blast, and can't wait for the next round. We'll have another episode before the next tip-off to get you ready for Red Raiders and Gators. Some postseason history that has gone the way of Texas Tech in some recent years, but I don't think Florida's had a team like this in those meetings either. So we got a whale of a challenge, to say the least. I've already said it once. I'll probably say it again on the next episode, but we hope you'll join us for that as we get ready for Elite Eight action. Texas Tech and Florida is coming up next, and we'll be back to get ready for that one, Chris. So looking forward to it, man. Appreciate the time. If there's any rest available, I hope you get some, or just keep on rolling, man. We'll see you for the next one.
Red Raider family out there, wherever you are, we love you all. We sincerely mean it. Wish you were in San Fran here in the Bay Area. And I'm gonna go get in the car without a driver again, drink as much Gatorade as I possibly can, and just try to wipe it clean from existence out here on the left coast. And we'll talk to you next time. So yeah, guns up from the Bay Area, folks. Yeah, good times. We keep it rolling.
Sir. No doubt. Thanks for being out there. Appreciate it. As always, get subscribed on YouTube or anywhere you get podcasts so you never miss an episode. Thanks to the Everydayers and the Matador Mom for always being out there as well. Hit the show notes and find a link to a free 14-day trial. That's your direct line to Chris and myself, with one-on-one text sent straight to your phone. For Chris, I'm Casey. Thanks as always for the time, and we hope to see you back for the next round on Locked On Texas Tech.